Good afternoon, Tony.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Really nice to see you again this afternoon.
My pleasure.
I have a burning question.
Sure.
We're currently in a context where we spend more time together than we have in the year before that.
Are you referring to the COVID situation?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, how do we continue to build warm and quality relationships despite all that time together isn't really spent together?
So let's look at a typical home now. A family, a father, a mother, let's say one or two children, right? Both the parents are working in separate rooms. The children are supposed to study on the internet, and no one goes out the whole day long. And in the winter months, even in the evenings, sometimes they cannot go out. It's up to us now what we make this home into. Are we going to be co-prisoners in a larger cell, or are we going to enjoy this together time? In order to do this, one of the most important ingredients is communication. Communication can be verbal and non-verbal. In the verbal, tone and words are both equally important. Would you agree with me?
Absolutely.
But there is another one in the non-verbal, is the different levels of silence. So imagine a silence where it feels very heavy and that everyone is silent because something has happened, or they do not want something terrible to happen, like an argument. And imagine a silence after a great meal they've enjoyed, and now everyone is sitting together, the child's head in the mother's lap, the father is enjoying something like a television program, and they are all so content. What I'm trying to show you is the communication is very important in keeping these connections. Our mood swings, our emotions, those thoughts that we've not shared, they all come out in some kind of communication, or in our silence, or in our tone. Do you agree?
I agree. So let me ask you, my young children
Mm-hmm.
text me.
Yes.
We live in the same home.
Yes.
We're together for days on end.
Yeah.
And we text each other
Yes.
to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
How do you maintain that?
You will have to get used to this texting. It is the communication of today, and it is on the increase. Do you agree with me?
More and more every day.
Thank you. But at the same time, what I said earlier, the tone, the words, the actual emotion, it does not come out in the text. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
And so I think you can sit down with your children and say, I'm going to say something very sweet, and then I'm going to just put it in words. Does it show mom's love? And I'm sure your children will agree it doesn't. And then they will want to speak to you more and more. Now, one thing I must say that, for example, my generation has had to really work hard to learn to text. The children of today have to work a little bit, and we have to teach them how to communicate, because they feel this is it, this is fine if they are texting. No.
It's communication.
Yes, for them it is, but we want a more complete communication. I was talking about the silence. For them, too much noise may not be good. They feel, let's do this and remain silent. They have their own reason of doing this. I think, like everything else, communication is also evolving. But the main thing is, how do we keep the connections? And how do we make them stronger? How do we put more and more love in the connections? I think that is the key. I know you're a wonderful mother. I know that. And I'm sure there are millions of mothers and parents and fathers out there who are looking at this as a challenge. Instead of seeing it as a challenge, I think all we have to do is tell them that when you are talking, it brings out the tone, it brings out the meaning a little more, and it brings out the feelings, the emotions, which a text does not.
So we can transcend the limitations of emojis.
There are no limitations in emojis. More and more are coming. Don't you think?
We'll look for the new...
Yeah, it used to be just one happy face, you remember?
Yes. Okay.
So, this is what I would say. Con them, your children, into better connections. What do you say? Can you do that? Can you con them? Silence. Is that how you're talking to me?
Says volumes, doesn't it?
Yes.
She's sending you a text.
I'm composing.
You are? A text? Okay. I'll wait for it. I hope I can open the text.
I think our children are quite good at catching cons.
Yes.
And for us to model quality communication encourages them to follow along.
The connections.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. You know, children are very impressionable and how we teach them, and you're a great mom, and I know you will do it.
Thanks, Tony.
You're welcome.